My name's Konnor, and I went 5-3 after Swiss at the last ARG in Fort Worth. I played Yosenju's. It's not complete, but it does pretty well against the meta. The only thing that it has a hard matchup against Cosmos, but there's definitely stuff in here that can get around it. Started off with the monsters. 3 Yosenju, 1. He just bounces a face-up monster, or a face-up card on the field. And if you control another Yosenju. Next, we'll do is Yosenju, 2. He can attack directly for half of his attack, which is 19. Or for 900. Next is Yosenju, 3. If you do battle damage with any of your Yosenjus, you can search any Yosenju card, which you pretty much can always do battle damage with 2 if you can't attack over something or you can't bounce something and get rid of it. Next we have 2 Sujiks. I only run 2 of these because it can't have an additional normal summon like the other ones can. So if you just draw 2 of these and that's it, it's really cloggy. But he has the effect to boost up to 1,000. And also during during the damage step, you can pitch him and give a Yosenju monster plus 1,000. It just helps to beat over things because you can search 3, have 2 still be able to attack, and then boost it up if you didn't have him in hand, which came in clutch quite a bit yesterday. 2L. I normal summoned it 1 time just because I didn't have to put it in the scale. But when it's in the scale, you can pitch itself, and pretty much your Yosenju monsters can't die that turn, like if they flip a Mirror Force or something, or Torrential. And for the last monster, Thunder King, this card just is always good. The fact that you can't add is nice, and if they special summon exactly 1, you can just pitch it and it negates the summon. So it's pretty much a solemn warning and a mistake put together with the 1900 attack. Next for spells. 3 Tinky. This is pretty much the Rhoda of the deck. You search for any of your Yosenju monsters besides L, but that doesn't really matter. Next, 3 Duality. You can play 3 of these because special summoning is pretty irrelevant in the deck unless it's like Cowboy. I only went into my extra deck a couple of times yesterday, but the fact that you can just get 3 cards and then just choose 1, it's a free like set 5 in this pass. Next spell is Dark Hole and Renegade. Since none of my monsters are ever on the field, Dark Hole's always just another Renegade, so it's pretty much I'm just running 2 Renegades. Now for traps. 3 Mirror Force. Mirror Force is definitely not ideal in this meta because if it's against Pepe, they just go to the extra deck, so it doesn't really matter. I would definitely replace this for Quaking because then they just sit there and you never have to destroy them theoretically because you can just 2 and just swing all day, or go into like pretty much just sit there. And,
2 Cowboys.
Yeah, go into 2 Cowboys and just burn them all day. Or you can go into Heartland Draco and just attack for 4,000 pretty much for free. Next, the real cancer of the deck, 3 Magic Cylinder. This is only okay. It's really bad against Cosmos. I generally just side it out because it targets. But against everything else, they just kind of swing and kill themselves. It happened like 10 times yesterday. Next, the better Magic Cylinder. This one doesn't target. It does the exact same thing, but doesn't target. So Cosmos swing with Dark Destroyer, and they just did 3,000 damage to themselves, which you can't really beat Cosmos, so you kind of have to rely on this, and then you can just attack directly for whatever you have. Like, this card is just, no matter what, it's always good. But Magic Cylinder is pretty limited, because if, like, against Monarchs, if they get March out, this card becomes useless, because it targets, so. Next is 2 Yosenju, Secret Move. This card, it's searchable with 3, which is nice. So if you have an L on board and this, this is always active because you have to control a Yosenju card. So as long as you have a card like L, it's always active and it just negates anything, monster, spell, or trap. So it's always live. Next is 2 lose 1 turns. Pretty much every time I resolved this card, they had to make some lackluster play just to get rid of this, or do something completely just random to get rid of this. This is definitely one of the better traps in the deck, because you can just sit down and do nothing for the entire game, since you don't need to special summon. Now for the 1-ofs. 1 Solemn, 1 Torrential, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Vanities, and 1 Macro. This is really good against pretty much any Pendulum deck, especially for like the new version of Pepe, since they just Liz draw and get the Pot of Greed play with Curry Turtle and Liz draw. When they Liz draw, it just banishes it. So, and Wavering Ice is pretty much just dead 24/7 with it. You'll burn for 500 and just kind of get poked. But this card, every time I resolved it against Pepe, which I played twice, I won. 40 card deck, and now we'll do side deck. Played 1 Draw and Lockbird. Never sighted it in. I sighted it in 1 time actually, but I never saw it. It pretty much just shuts down Monarchs and Pepe, because after they search 1 time, they're done. It doesn't really hurt Pepe as much as it hurts Monarchs, because it stops drawing, and Monarchs should only dig pretty far in their deck. 2 MSTs just to stop Royal Decree pretty much. That's about it. 2 Spell Shattering Arrows. Really hurts when the new version of Pepe, because they can't always replace their scales. 1 Chaos Trap Hole. This is mainly for Denko, because if I set 4 and just he normal summons a Denko, it's probably game after that. So this can really stop it. The 3rd Yosenju secret move for like back row heavy decks. 1 Light Imprisoning Mirror and 1 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So I did this in because I played the Burning Abyss Phantom Knight deck. I never got it, but if I did, I probably would have won pretty hard. And this card, both of these are good against Monarchs and Cosmos, so it helps. 3 Iron Wall. This card is good against the new Phantom Knight deck, because the banishing to special summon is just insane. And it's still good against Cosmos. And 3 Magic Drain to stop the Twin Twister. It forces them to play another spell just to get like rid of 2 cards. And if they target this for one of the cards, like they're only hitting 1 if they possibly can, and then they had to discard 1 card for the Twin Twister and another card for this. So they ended up playing their hand with like 2 cards, which you're probably not going to die if that happens. Now for the extra deck. I went into it a couple times. 2 Cowboy. This is really just like only for game. I OTK'd twice yesterday against 2 Pepe players. 2 Castel to get rid of any problem card. Never went into it, never really needed to. 1 Rhapsody. This was to really just kind of in there. It has like no real purpose, but it's okay. 1 Arc. Cards just, you can pretty much just take any problem monster that you can and just sit on this card all day. 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Never went into it, but it's a free 25 if you need to. 1 Abyss Dweller. Went into this card 1 time against Monarchs and he just kind of sat there. 1 Diamond Dyer. Went to it 1 time to pop a March, I believe. So, because I had a Mirror Force and a Magic Cylinder set, so I needed to target, so I went into this. And then he killed himself with the Magic Cylinder. 1 Ragnar Zero. Never went into it, but the fact that if they do change their life points, you can just destroy it and then draw one card. Probably the best card in the extra deck is Lightning Chidori. I went into it one time against a Monarch player, and he played Prime, and then I just kept making him draw the Prime over and over again because I kept sending it to the top of the deck. So he pretty much just made himself brick. One Heartland Draco. This card is good against Cosmos because you can't really beat them just out front, so you have to like find ways to just like make them kill themselves. So you dimensional wall, and then you get a pretty much free 4,000 from this if you control a spell, because it can't be targeted for an attack. So as long as they don't out this, they did the 3,000, and then you get 4,000 from this, and then all you have to do is like attack with Kama 2 a couple of times. I won one game against Cosmos because of that play, but Tiger King, he pretty much is just a one card XYZ, because when he's summoned you can search another Tinky, so you pretty much just go into one, you just get like a Kama 1 or something, whatever you use as an XYZ material. Never went into it though. One Carrot Gorgon for just a control play for turn 1. If I drew too many monsters or something, it would help. And Run Rafflesia, never went into it, never really needed to. I guess I could have just sat on it, but there was no point. It was just kind of in here. And that's the deck. I played Cosmo round 1, lost 2-1. I played round 2, I played Draco Pals, lost 2-1. Round 3, I played. Oh yeah, my opponent just didn't show up. I think he went out for lunch or something, because he came back later. Round 4, I played Lightstorm Minerva, 2-0'd him. Made a massive board, and I just mirror forced him, and he just didn't do anything. He couldn't do anything. Round 5, I played Super Quantum Monarchs, and I won in game 3 because I just made him keep drawing Prime over and over again. Round 6, I played Phantom Knight. Yeah, just straight Phantom Knights, and got destroyed by that. Didn't even know what was happening. And then my last round, my opponent just didn't show. So 5-3. It was okay for my first ARG.